Hello everybody, I've made it to Friday. I hope you have too. Now, the main part of this video is an experimental budget blade buying, because I couldn't find out anything about the knives in question before I bought them. And I filmed that section of the video a couple of nights ago, so I know it is it's a good 10 minutes long, so I'll crack on quickly because we don't want to extend the video beyond the limits of your patience. So today's beer, St. Bernardus Triple. Oh, bollocks. Oh, made a right mess of that. Now, just give that a minute to calm down. One thing we'll do that I don't think I've done before is I'm going to put a link in the description box below to a music video. I'm not going to tell you anything about it other than I've watched this music video. Oh, and it's bottle conditioned as well, and I've just, oh, it's all fucking cocked. Right, fuck it. I've watched this music video a few times this week and it's brought me great joy. So, if you want to have a look, please do. Right, so, beer. St. Bernardus Triple. I don't think there's any obvious clues on there that it's bottle conditioned. 8% by volume. And a good gob full of it's on the floor now. Smells a bit fruity. I'm wondering actually, is it bottle conditioned or is it just a Weiss beer? Because it tastes very much like that sort of a beer, that sort of perfumed edge that you get with stuff like Hoegaarden. Very nice though. Triple. So, on with the budget blades. Hope you enjoy your weekend. See what you think of these two. Okay, so here's how the knives come, in a little velvety sack with an oak leaf pattern there. Move that one to one side. We're going to look first at the number 5. Fairly standard looking European style. This costs £8. We've got a closed length of just under 4 inches, about 100mm. Bit of decoration on the back spring. Construction is collared wire pins. They stand quite proud, but they are quite smooth. The handle looks like it's solid wood, but when you look on some of the other countries' Amazon sites, it is described as packer wood, which is plywood, but it is done very nicely, and I personally don't have any issue with plywood as a knife handle on a budget knife. If the plywood's been manufactured well and finished well, it's a very good knife handle. So we open the blade, and what do we find? Well, clip point, the main grind could be flat or it could be a very, very shallow hollow. And I think, yeah, it's a very, very shallow hollow grind. The blade is 3-inch cutting edge, 3 1/4 overall, so that's about 75 millimeters, 85 tip to handle. Slip joint with a half stop. The only marking on the knife is the oak leaf that we saw on the velvety sack. So nothing stamped on the tang to show where it comes from, who made it, what it's made of. So I think these knives were made either by, or more likely for, the company that I bought them from. The large sort of B&Q type do-it-yourself supplies, tool hire, that sort of stuff. Very pointy, bit of a swedge. Let's try the cutting edge. So this is the factory edge. It's a bit rough, but when you look at the edge bevel, it's ground very evenly and very symmetrical. So I think the only thing is it just needs to be sharpened up. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with it, it's just not very sharp. Very pointy though. What does the knife weigh? .44 ounces. 40.9 grams. So it's a very lightweight knife. Just about UK legal if your interpretation of the blade length rules refers to the cutting edge and not the overall length. So for £8 or thereabouts, I think that is a cracking little budget knife. Once I get it sharpened, I shall consider my £8 very well spent. So that's the model number 5. However, the one that actually caught my eye was the model number 11. This one. And here we do have a solid wood handle, metal collars at either end for structural integrity. Again, it's a slip joint, and the overall pattern is quite common in European traditional knives, with the swooping handle and the big belly on the blade. Again, there's no markings other than the oak leaf. And this one is a full flat grind with an edge bevel. The problem with this one, and something I wasn't aware of when I saw it for sale on the website because of the angle of the photograph, it's a complete slip joint. There's no back spring and there's no extended tang as you would normally expect to see on a friction folder. So there is nothing other than a little bit of friction to hold the blade open. Now, that's a problem for me. I have no trouble at all with the fact that slip joints don't lock. When you're talking about a slip joint with a back spring, like the Swiss Army knife. I believe that anybody who says they're dangerous isn't using it properly. But for this knife, with no mechanism at all to hold the blade open, I think that's dangerous, because with a slip joint, let's say you're whittling and you catch the point, you have got some resistance to closing the blade, but you would only have to catch that very gently and there's nothing to stop it at all. So for me, that's a step too far. What's the edge like on this one? This one came okay actually. There was a little bit of a burr, so it's had a little bit of a strop. But overall it's better than the other one. And given the big belly and the thin flat grind, once it's sharp to the level I want it to be sharp, it'll be an excellent slicer, but I wouldn't be very comfortable using it too much. It is, however, a looker, I think. And it's just a shame there wasn't some mechanism. So here we've got 39.3 grams. 1.39 ounces. I do like the solid wood handle and the shape, the curve and the taper. The blade is just 3 inches tip to handle, 2 3/4 cutting edge in a straight line. So that one is probably better described as UK legal than the other. So there we have it, each one costing £8. I'll just lay them out there for you to see. Just angle that so we don't get the glint. And then just for a size comparison, we'll put the Victorinox Spartan copy in between them. So there you have it. Not the worst budget knives I've bought by a long chalk. Certainly better than that crappy Whitby, but not without their problems. For these two though, I don't actually regret spending the £8 on them. So I'm quite happy. We'll show you some close-ups, some stills, and you can see what you think. Thanks for watching.